If you didn't know, the game of the year of 2019 was the masterpiece known as George Lopez Quiz Done, Grar opening. Critics like Keemstar and Sammy Classic Sonic fan were claiming this game to be a masterpiece. George Lopez himself even said the game made him horny. But is the game even all that good? Well, no. In fact, this game is awful.
Oh, mate. What do you mean it's a bad game?
Dude, you don't think it's a bad game? Are you alright? This game is straight up awful. It has nothing good about it.
Yeah, it did have a few glitches, but it still had a great gameplay and storyline.
We'll see about that. Let's hop into the game for ourselves! Okay, so I have to admit, this game controls alright, but that doesn't matter when the game is so glitchy. Sure, the jump is nice, but it doesn't help when the wall screws you over.
Alright, I have to admit, the controls are a little weird at times, but the game is still smooth and slimy. Don't forget, sticky. I think you're only having these problems because you suck at the game. Goddamn fruit scrub.
Fine, George Lopez gets 1 point for the controls. This story is so bland and predictable. If you didn't know, the game takes place after Cory in the House season 418. After Trump has taken over the world, he deported George and his family. They were then turned into block textures and used to build the wall. So you have to solve riddles and guess their names to revive them to make America great again. But it's so obvious you'll win, and the Cory crossover seemed like pandering. Cory being there is just to make you forget how bland the story actually is. If Cory wasn't in it, nobody would care about the story.
Come on, I think it was one of the best stories ever made. I mean, I was so hyped up with the game, like, I was just hyped up as when I heard about the Cory in the House game coming out. The story was amazing at the beginning to the George Lopez franchise. Although I do admit that the story was overhyped, though. I found it dumb that people are comparing it to Cory's story. I mean, come on. It's good, but it's 600 centimeters away from Cory's sexiness.
Well, I think we could both agree George Lopez's story should be deported from all our minds. No points for the story. This is where the game gets bad. The levels are so overly difficult and they're really repetitive. The glitches make them even worse. Some glitches are even game-breaking as well. But here is the biggest complaint. The final boss. To beat it, all you have to do is type in the words George Lopez. What the hell were they thinking? No normal person has spelling skills like this. It took me 15 years to spell it, and when I did, it opened goddamn Max's door. I don't give a crap about Max. I want George. Why the frick are they doing this? Max, if you're watching this, I hope you burn in hell.
The level designs were pretty though, but once you get used to the controls, it gets really easy and fun. It's bright, colorful, and has a lot of emotion to it. It was so good I might have pissed myself right in the tutorial. I got a huge kazangadong, like, you know what I mean? Then in the final boss, George was so sexy that I sort of maybe, in my pants without doing anything at all. We're just playing the game with a huge rocker in my pants. And to find out, well, no pun intended, this happens in my pants.
Alright, I have to admit, this game has split graphics. The floor textures look awful, but the character models for George and Max are outstanding.
They were especially amazing when we were introduced to George's crusty pickle. I mean, come on. It looks so realistic. You could tell they put a lot of effort into that.
Okay, I admit, I was a bit harsh on this game. It has some good things about it, but it doesn't matter with bad level design and glitches. I really gave this game a shot and wanted to like it, but I just couldn't. I just don't want to deal with stuff like this in a game that's supposed to be enjoyable. I understand why you like it, but it's just not for me. So do I think it's good? No. But do I think it's as bad as I said? No. The game is a staple to anime history, and I respect it for that. But I would really only recommend this game if you're racist.
Well, I understand some don't like it. It has great graphics, gameplay, and level designs, but it could be better. So my overall thoughts is that the George Lopez game is a very good game, no doubt about it, but it has some big ET flaws, but not bad ones.